It is amazing all over the earth where men have determined that they are going to replace God, and the subjects have agreed. It is amazing that all over the earth this has happened over and over again. And something like that is happening in America today. We don't know just how bad America was in the past. We have some idea, some history we can count on. Others, well, we do know one thing though. Our condition today. Our folks yesterday were messed over, perhaps. That's the claim, and I agree. But that is yesterday. This is the present. Those were my people. This is us. Now, what difference is there between us and my people? Our people. What difference is there? We are here just like we were then. And now, for some strange reason, they are threatening to try to use the system that they have created to take us back even further than then. To take us back to the position that they claim to be God. That they will use the words out of the Bible to justify making people slaves. That they are going to use the words out of the Bible to justify murdering, to justify pain and suffering on people. That is happening in our day. They died. They fought to give us this period in time to make up our minds, to conclude about who we really are, what we are really willing to do. They are holding up their hands. They are telling us. They are not shying away. They are saying, yes, you don't believe in us, you're not going to respect our king, we will kill you. That is exactly what they're saying. And if they will kill you, you know, in every other facet of life, they would cause you all kind of problems. Food, clothing, shelter, denied. Education, health, denied. All of that job, denied. Playing God and using the book to justify it. Some people say we will not go back. In Germany, Hitler did it. In Italy, Mussolini. In North Korea, you know the guy's name. In China, you know the guy's name. In America, the guy is Trump, Donald J. Trump, the smartest man on earth. The rest of the world don't know it, but he has told us. He has shared with we, the American people, that there's no one smarter than he. He knows more about military stuff than any military person that's ever been engaged in military. He didn't even have to be there in it to know it. He is the genius. He is the genius. He never forgets anything. He doesn't have to study anything. Give him a problem, the answer just comes to his mind. He is just that dynamic. And the Republican and the conservatives and the right-wing Christians in America have embraced it. Even though pain and suffering, they are for it. They are for it. Now, in the book, they said there was a time when the Pharaoh wanted to make sure that all boy babies are killed. And it had something to do with the Passover there someplace. You guys who study the book, check it out. And this, in the movie, I'm going to talk to the movie because most of you might have seen it in the Ten Commandments or another movie, but you haven't read it probably. This death comes down through the mountains and all over the place, and then it comes down into Egypt. And it just spreads at night like a monster. It just spread. And the firstborn of these Egyptian men and families died. Based upon what? Now, this is just a story that's in the book. Moses didn't do that. The Hebrew children didn't do that. A miss, supposedly from the authority of God, did what it was destined to do. That sounds like God. I mean, I can see that a little bit. They even talked about a flood one time, talking about the flood came. People had gotten so far out of the place. And this flood came and they got a warning. But, you know, just like they do in every other thing, they ignored it. So the waters came with the storms. Somebody said it rained 40 days and 40 nights. And you know, we've seen some tsunamis around here. Boy, they are something that's pretty awful. But it's supposedly enough water to kill all living things, really. But instructions have been given. You know, not like I'm talking to you right here, but guidance that motivates people to do things. Just, you can't help it. You just find yourself doing it. And this guy had built this big boat with an idea that it was going to be ready to receive anybody that automatically comes on there. He wasn't supposed, apparently, to judge who was going to get on that boat. There was another plan in play to determine who gets on that boat and what gets on that boat. And supposedly, according to that story, the animals and other living things got a chance to get on that boat. And the only family was the family of the people who built the boat. That means the whole rest of the dead blasted world was lost. The rest of the whole human population was lost. I'm just going according to the story now. I'm not trying to convince you of nothing. I'm just telling you about the story. Everybody was lost except these few. But guess what? These few didn't do anything to harm or cause any pain or suffering to the rest of the world. Not one dead blasted thing. Everything they did was to help the people by giving them the information that they had been given, by building so when they do decide, if they decide, they would have some possible way of saving themselves by being on a boat that floats on water. But it was all rejected. It was the master, the invisible power that we couldn't see, but the evidence of it was right there. The water had come, according to the story, and taken everybody because they didn't follow the rules, the instructions that had been given. Wow. And there was one more story I'd like to share with you. There was a story about somebody down in, had to do with Sodom and Gomorrah, I believe, something like that. Y'all heard that story? Where some strange things were happening down there. And rather than telling you the story, you read the story. But what was happening is that this period area of the country had found itself in some trouble. They were doing some things that was not acceptable. And a punishment was going to come. And so the messenger was sent to tell the people who, I guess, were cool, the ones who were pleasing, had some sense, woke about the plan and how they should respond. And they say, who did? They said, who did? And even said, part of that movement was turned to a pillar of salt. Couldn't give it up. Couldn't turn it up. Couldn't turn it loose. But what happened? No man, no human being was killing. causing pain and suffering like otherwise for this particular type of situation to human beings there. No. What happened? They say, hell, fire. Some people want to say it was a volcanic eruption. I don't know what it was, but they say it came and burned up the stuff. And it wasn't man. It was that invisible power. Now here we go in America and in the world today, they killing folks. Well, not just today. They've always done it. They've always done it. In the biblical days, those things happened. They were killing folks back in the biblical days too, according to the book. But every now and then, that invisible power came on the scene and did something too, according to the book. So I'm saying to all of us, nothing has changed. We, like our ancestors, we got the same responsibility they had. They did what they could, and it is incumbent for us to do what we can. But I want to tell you the truth. The message that has been given to us, whether we heard it, read it, we've lived until we've experienced it one way or another, is that we as human beings die. We are going to die. Some of us die very young. And some of us die very old. All of us want to live a certain type of life that brings us satisfaction. Very few of us do. Most of us don't. And this is what's been going on all the while. And for those of us who don't, we spend our entire life trying to live a satisfied life. Our everyday moving is to trying to find some way to live a satisfied life. And it seems as if everything we do, there's something trying to undercut us. Undercut us, even to the point of re-establishing slavery in the United States. I mean, actually going back and saying, you don't have any rights. And we can do whatever we want to you. Even though they put a black man in up now for the public to see as the true Jesus Christ. Well, all I can say is this. If you know you're going to die and you want to live that satisfied life, and in order for you to live that satisfied life, things are going to have to change, or you are going to have to join the problem. You're going to have to find some way to be quiet, go along with it. And who knows, if you act right, you might get a good position, and you might really live really good. These are the challenges that you have. And people have determined that for some reason, some way, they're going to go that way. They're going to go that way that says they can live a little bit longer. You might have to become a thief. We might put you in prison. You might become a robber or something like that. You might even go gambling or get in a situation that cause you to get killed or kill someone. If you remain living, we'll see if you need to be punished, you'll get punished. All of these things will happen. But they will not even consider fixing anything. And so, what do you do in a situation like that? You don't let nobody trick you, telling you don't rock the boat, and when you die, this power that you can't see is going to receive you on the other end and tell you a wonderful servant, well done. Your living inspired others to understand that there's a power that they cannot see, but all of the evidence is here that that power exists. and that power still is in control, and all you got to do is have faith in that power and walk according to the righteousness that you understand to be right, and stop acting a fool because you scared. They're expecting you to do that. And with that type of action, things do change. Well, it might mean that what happened to a lot of the guys, most of the American people that we know who were really into doing what was right, like Dr. King and Malcolm and some of these other guys. I just leave those two. I don't want to go too far. These kill you. Excuse me. That lets you know this ain't the place for no righteousness. This ain't no place for no satisfied life for everybody. No, 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 no. Unless you wake up. And when you wake up, boy, oh boy. You hear me? When you wake up, boy, oh boy.